All right, my people. Well, blessings be multiplied upon you nicely. I'm trusting that you've had a great week thus far, that you had a wonderful one last week, and that you are having a tremendous one this week. But if you are not, I am hopeful that we can help to contribute, making sure that you have a great day today, better one tomorrow, and the best of one from Thursday go on. Welcome, welcome, welcome one and all to 97.1 Faith FM, where you can also find us on faithfmonline.com, or you can find us on our Facebook page, or you can join the Marriage and More program that is now live on our YouTube page on the Marriage and More program. For those of you who are online, thank you so much for being there. We pray that God continue to bless you nicely as we serve you here on the Marriage and More program. Let me greet those of you who are within the diaspora, those of you in the region, and those of you right here in country St. Martin. Welcome again here on the Marriage and More, where we make marriage spicy, dicey, and wonderful. We've been out for a week, and I want to thank those of you who have had the privilege to listen to the replay. May I truly say as well, if perchance anytime something happens and we can't come to you live, always listening to Faith FM, where we will have a replay program for you. With me here, as always, is my beloved wife, my dear wife. Greet the people on the Marriage and More program.
I am so looking forward to greeting y'all. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. Whichever part of the world, wheresoever you are at and you're hearing us, it is just absolutely great to be back with you here today. I was saying to my husband this morning, it felt like, he said it's only last week we missed, but I felt as though we've been away for like a whole month. That's how much y'all I missed, and it's really good to be back with you here today for another exciting program, another engagement program. Of course, you can always engage us, all right, be it on a call, and we'll give the number, or on message, you can engage with us. All right, but I want to say a very special good afternoon again to my folks back home in St. Vincent. We were there last week, Uncle Peter, on mainland St. Vincent, but then we went down to the Grenadines, where we are originally from, for the memorial that we actually did indeed go over for. And we met a couple of a good amount of persons. We grew up there. We born there. We grew up there, so everybody know everybody.
Union Island.
Yeah, in Union Island. And you know what blessed us? What was so encouraging to know is that it's like almost everybody we met, we had an encounter with. Then they say, "I see you all, and I listen to y'all, and I listen to y'all," and I'm like, I feel good. That our people, even though we left there, they still follow us. They still share in our progress, in our joys. They're still there with us. So for those of you who are from our home island, our hometown, for those of you who know us, I want to call some of your names, but because I didn't ask your permission, you understand me? But I know you are hearing us, and I know you are laughing, and I know some of you are saying, "Yeah, call my name." but it's all right. It's just absolutely an honor to be here, and thank you all for sharing in these times and in these moments with us. Uncle Peter, thank you for always being here. Thank you. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate our listeners, and we just thank God for you.
Thank you as well.
Yeah.
Amen. So all the folks right there in Union Island who are locked in. Myro is also locked in. I went to Myro after the memorial. I went to Myro on the speedboat. So I know that Myro is locked in. A few folks let me know that they listen as well. So we want to extend special greetings to all our Grenadines people who are locked in. Those of you in Union Island, those of you in Myro, those of you in Canawan, and also in Beckway.
Yeah.
Brother Legion George, they're always
that's
locked
absolutely
in.
True.
And then we have the mainland St. Vincent. So many of you are also locked in St. Vincent, and we thank you so much for being there. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But we have to give special privilege to the Grenadines.
Home is home.
Because that's where we originated. It was such a warm reception.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we thank God for our people there. All right, we had four sessions in St. Vincent, and the folks can't wait to have more. So sometime we'll be back in St. Vincent to do to do another session there with our people there. All right, so
Absolutely.
yeah, we had a tremendous week.
Yeah, it was good. my husband went back to his childhood days, Uncle Peter. He actually went on a speedboat. He went to the other island. One of the islands is about 15-20 minutes.
No, speedboat is 7 minutes a ride.
7 minutes ride. So he went
5-7 minutes ride.
He went over to see his father. I told him I wasn't going because when I look outside and I see that water, Uncle Peter, I don't like the sea when it's rough. I hate a rough water.
Let me explain to you what happened. You see?
He grew up on the sea. Let me put that
She
disclaimer.
threw down too much stone from the mountain. She was supposed to come to the beach.
No, I don't think so. The water is too rough. The water was rough.
Peter, the water flat like thing that good. Little breeze blow and the wave.
For somebody
And the
who
wave
grew
go
up
like
on
that.
the sea, the water was rough. Was cool. But for me, man, that water was rough.
You should have been around me long enough.
The water
you would have
was
never
rough.
afraid to see like that.
Right. So I say, you know what? I'm staying on land because I don't want to. We came down on the boat on Saturday, on the ferry on Saturday, to take the speedboat to go over, to take the ferry again. And yesterday morning when we took the ferry to go back up to mainland, to take the plane in the evening, that was just like, no.
There was too much traveling for you. We understand.
Yeah, it was too much. But you know, he enjoyed those moments, you know. He enjoyed those moments. And I look at him there holding on to the rope at how you call that? At the bow, however you call it, yeah. At the front there.
My brother said to me, boy, you didn't lose your boat days at all.
You see what I'm saying? He grew up there. Yeah.
Because I just jumped down. Yeah, man, it's good. It's good.
Absolutely. But we are here back with our folks today.
Yeah, we're back right here.
Yeah, we are more than excited.
And we want to let the people know that, listen, no matter where we travel from, we do our best to have the program. But because, my mom was in the hospital, she's supposed to come out sometime soon. That's why you see we could not.
We had a lot
we couldn't do the program with you. All right. So those of you who know and prayed, we thank you so much for your prayers. We appreciate it. She's progressing well, and we thank the Lord for that.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
A few things before we go in, my dear wife. The Easter weekend is coming up, and I believe that most persons, if not all, are aware of the Praise Fest that is coming up on Friday.
Right.
Our church is a part of it, and 9 other churches. We're going to have 6 hours of praise from 6 p.m. until midnight. 6 hours of praise. You have to come with real energy for that. So make sure that you are present. Let us come and celebrate what Christ would have done for us in a most vibrant manner.
Yeah.
All right. And then on the following day, the New Testament Baptist Church, well, this really is just to express appreciation to the community of St. Martin, who is very supportive of our ministry. We are so thankful for you being there. We were able to sell over 400 and something tickets, Peter. All gone. Tickets finished. And we have to go and get tickets again. That's because New Testament.
This is breakfast, right?
Yeah.
I ain't get my ticket yet, and I get this breakfast, so I need a ticket.
Don't worry about your ticket. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Baptist
Don't worry
Church,
about that.
breakfast and tea breakfast and then just all they want. All the tickets sold, but man, she's in the committee, so you're good to go.
Yeah, you don't worry about that.
Yeah, we
man.
tickets sell out, and persons were still calling. We went and we reprint ticket, and I think persons are still calling. So.
But we have to cut.
But they're gonna make extras. And I want to thank the community of St. Martin for their support towards the New Testament Baptist Church. From myself, my wife, and the full leadership of the church, we really appreciate the support of the community.
Absolutely.
Whenever we throw a breakfast, we've always been there. And we really appreciate that. Thank you.
And the march, the praise explosion that we have coming up in June as well.
Yes.
We're going to have some t-shirt out for that, but that's later on. Sometime in the month of between middle April thereabout, but for now it's just a breakfast. Because
we're celebrating 70 years of the New Testament Baptist Church. This is our 70th anniversary, and we're going to be having a praise explosion, and we're going to come to you with the details. We are working some things out, but save the date of June 14th. The 14th of June, it's a Sunday. Sorry, save that date. And you're going to hear more about that when we come around. We're going to give you full details on it. You know, our church is really a community church as much as we are promoting the Lord Jesus Christ, which is the aim of our church. But we're also a community church. Last year before, and the year before, Peter, we have been, this New Testament Baptist Church for close to 40 years, have been running a soup kitchen. In that soup kitchen, we last year was 18,573 meals went out from that soup kitchen.
Wow,
the year before was 18,200 and something went out from that soup kitchen, and the previous year was, I think, was 17,000 plus, close to 18,000.
So the demand is rising.
We are climbing. And that is primarily supported by the tithes and offering of our ministry. So our church have been very much involved in the community for years. That our church have been doing a lot within the community of St. Martin. So I really appreciate when persons support us so that we can continue our mission. And this year we're celebrating 70 years, and we're looking forward for the continued support of the community. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Pick up the New Testament Baptist Church one time.
Where's that thing?
Thank you. She want drum, we won't know it. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We have a couple minutes.
We are, yes.
Yes.
Well, you always tell us where we're going. My duty is to show up. Your duty is to tell me where we're going. So
well, let me thank you for showing up.
Here am I today. Tell us where we're going for today, my dear.
Thank you for showing up. All right. So for today, we are stepping up a little bit more because every week we step up. So this week we are stepping a notch up. All right. So we are going to look at is it okay to say no in marriage? When is it okay to say no? When it's not okay to say no? And how do we say no respectably? You understand? Because sometimes requests are made, or maybe some persons might say demands are being made, and sometimes it is uncomfortable. You know, whatever that may be, it may be uncomfortable to the spouse that's on the asking end. If you understand what I'm saying. So then now, no. We still continuing on boundaries, but now we are looking at when to say no. Is it okay to say no? How do we say no? How do I say no? How does a spouse say no to their spouse without being disrespectful, but also without the other spouse not feeling rejected?
Now we have to put context, you know.
Put the context. That's why I give you the topic. Put the context.
Because what are we saying no to?
That's where we are going. That's why we are here.
Okay. I am too fast.
That's why we are here. Is it okay to say no? Now we are going to say, yes, it's okay to say no when A, B, C, D. No, it's not okay to say no when D, E, F, G. Did I say it in alphabetical order?
So you don't establish it already.
Right.
We established it is okay to say no, but to say no to what? So you have to give me context now.
Okay.
So it's inevitable. You are going to say no in your marriage.
Yeah.
There is no maybe must be a part to that. There are times that you're going to say no, but no to what?
Right. That's
is what we're going to talk about.
Yes, that's it. No.
And when is okay to say no to what?
No? Exactly. When is it okay to say no? That's where we are going. All right.
Which part of the mountain you just going for any things to come down back? I have to start to ask you for 3 days notice in advance. No. I think I like showing up. The surprise is good sometimes. Okay. So I think I enjoy showing up. I'll maintain.
Yeah. When I think it's kind of controversial, then I'll let you know. But this is simple mathematics.
Whoa.
Right? This is simple mathematics for you. Simple A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Okay.
Yes, my dear. So yeah, because okay.
Tell me.
All right, yeah.
Oh, by the way, before you go
ahead.
For those of you who are listening, you can call 553-2484. We are back on our normal line. So 553-2484 plus 1721. That's the area code. For those of you who are overseas, plus 1721-553-2484. And you can give us a call at any point of the program if you wish to chip in and make a contribution. We'll appreciate that. It's also a WhatsApp number. And for those of you on our YouTube page, please feel free to comment at the bottom, share the link, Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so others can see. Share it so you can see when we're on, and share it so others can be a part of our discussion today. We'll be able to read your comments, or we can read your question if you have any on the YouTube link. All right, my dear wife. Continue right there.
Yes. So I am saying, I would say no, that I believe that it is like you have already established. It is right. You're right. And it's necessary at times for us to say no to our spouse, especially when certain things are seem as though they are being violated. It may be our own, let's say, personal hygiene, all right? Let's say financially. Let's say when you are burnt out, so on, when your health come into question, and so on and so forth. It is okay to say no. It is okay to say no. But at the same time, saying no to your spouse. I'm gonna raise this up, I'm gonna raise this, Let's take it from a financial angle, right? Let's take it from financially. I don't want to go into the financially speaking. I want to go into a business, right? But you're looking at the $5,000 that we have put up there, should in case, God forbid, there's some health challenge. But at the same time, I'm thinking, you know what? But nothing going to happen to us. We save, we in good health, nothing is going to happen. So I'm thinking investment. In this case, you'll be the one to think investment. So let me flip it over. And I would think save. You are thinking, my dear wife, let us invest here, let us put this there, whatever. And I'm thinking, you know what, my dear husband, we don't have enough money to consider something like this. You understand me? So we are at a loggerhead. We are back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yes.
All right. Now, I think that the greater concern is what money means to the partners.
Right.
Because for one, it's a risk. And for the other, it is security.
Right.
And that's where you see the fear might come in. One ready to jump, and the other is thinking about financial security, especially in today's world. People will run. So how do we proceed with that? A conversation, it probably as more detail as you possibly can. Because if we know what we are answering to, I think we'll take a different, our response will be different. But if the other person just thinking, you are messing up my security, you want to just spend everything, they can't see a turnover now. They're not seeing investment, they can't see a turnover now. All they're seeing is you are tampering with my security. Right. So if you have a conversation to understand what money means to both parties, then the conversation might be less offensive. And no, or let's not put a no yet. Let's just put an objection or concern. Because if you can speak to how you're going to maintain the security of the family, I think a yes would come easily. Okay? And so when partners are listening to each other, what I'm saying first is that you try to listen to understand what you are really saying no to, or what you are saying yes to. And then you have to think before you open your mouth and say, do I need to say no directly? Or do I need to probably explore the possibilities and say no without saying no? Yeah, man, you can do that. You can say, sweetheart, I think this is a bit too risky. After going through all the conversation, I think this is a bit too risky because you didn't consider the remote control. Right. And if the remote control go down, what is going to remove the scaffold from under us, and it could jeopardize the whole family. So how can we accomplish your intention and still secure the family? Right? Now you can't suppose to think a little bit differently. But sometimes partners just come and they just say, no, you can't do that. You can't touch it. No, don't do that. Don't touch it. It's going to bring problem. Because now you haven't explored the mind of the other one who is trying to invest. In their mind also is the family. They are thinking, we have a $5,000 put down there. If we put that in, we can get a turnover and we could make $20,000. But without even thinking, you just come out and say no, just like that.
Right.
So you have to learn to explore the ideas, the possibilities, what is in the mind of the person, get them speaking, and then you are able now to decide whether what's the best option. Okay?
Right.
And then you can compromise. You can compromise. You can compromise where you come to the point and say, you know what? I don't think the $5,000 we have is the best thing. You know, probably use 3,000.
Right.
All right, leave 2,000 because security means something to you, and you know from 2,000
right.
you are able to maneuver yourself. So you say leave 2,000 because you already calculate that the expense of the house is $1,200. So you say if something happened, I still have at least 1 month security, and then we could battle ourselves and come back up with the other. You already battled, but if you just come out and say no, so it feels like a shutdown.
Right.
It feels like you're not a non-support. You didn't give support. And then if the other person, because most times, my dear wife, many persons already said they're going to do it regardless to what the partner says. So if the person have that decision and they venture out and they accomplish what they accomplish, remember that bacchanal ain't going to stop, you know.
Exactly, because it's going to,
it's going to live on.
Yeah.
So when you come now and start to want to make demands on the benefits of the same decision that you didn't support, that person going to be like, but you didn't support me. And it can create a little bit more tension, because now, if on the journey to success, another person come who is quite supportive of this vision, especially the opposite sex, quite supportive of the other vision, of the same vision that the partner home did not even take time to hear out, that can cause some emotional ties and further complication in the relationship. So it can become real, sticky at the end of the day. And then you can feel very uncomfortable too in certain settings, because now you never support from the start. Now we take off, you're there. And then you some spouse don't always mention the name of the partner. They could be like, I built this from scratch.
Yeah. But is it that they did, because to say maybe not now or later, or just use half and leave the other, is it that they don't support at all? I get the point, and I agree that it can go in that direction, but is it that I don't consider it, it could be like that they say it like that, but at the same time, from the example that you're making, it's not necessarily that they don't support. You understand me? And then, like you say, you hear each other, hear from the angle from which they're
wait. I think you didn't understand me. Hear what I said. Remember, I was throwing different things out.
Yes.
So when I come to the point, I said, listen, it's not the point where you agree to a 60%.
Right.
It's the point where you just say, downright no. Then that will feel like a non-support.
Right.
And then if whatever the idea was, develop thereafter and become a successful one.
Right.
You see, initially it seemed like a risk.
Right.
But if it develops and becomes successful, that will be considered you never supported me at all.
But then, okay, I get you there. But then, in all fairness, as a husband and a wife, that shouldn't be the mindset. You understand me? Because, okay, let's take it from the non-supportive end. At the same time, can't you see which direction your spouse was coming from? Because all they want, just like you took the risk and it paid off, praise the Lord. All right. But at the same time, you understand that your spouse didn't support you. Give understanding now, I really understand. I didn't appreciate the fact that you didn't support me on this, you didn't see where I was going, But at the same time, we take off. Yeah. It is taking off. It is for the well-being of the family. You understand me? Which other spouse it is, you really and truly shouldn't find yourself in the place where they figure, oh, you didn't support me, so now this happening. What if something happens now? What if something happens now, and then, God forbid, that it crumbles? Or something happened to the spouse who built the vision, if you want to call it that, and then they now have to go on a couple of months leave for whatever reason. It's the same person now who might have to come around to help you.
This is why I always promote having a conversation first.
Yeah.
Because before you shut down a thing, hear it out. Don't just throw it away. Most of the time what happened in relationship, the spouse with the idea may have been dropping hints in between.
Right.
I'm thinking about a tire business and I think a tire business go work, They will be dropping hints in between,
Right.
little subtle hints and so forth, right? Before they come. It means that they're playing with the idea, they're exploring the possibilities, it's reminiscing within their mind and it's going there. When they come to you, they already think through certain things.
Right.
Before you cancel it out, hear it out.
Of course, it's fair and reasonable.
If the person doesn't do that, now the one who have been successful, they have no problem with it. The family will still benefit.
Right.
It's just that if they reach at any point, they might not include their spouse.
Right.
To say, well, you helped me out. And if something happened,
which is not a nice mindset.
it might not be a nice mindset. But remember that.
It is not.
Remember, my dear wife. Remember that. In their mind, you ain't supported.
Right.
So I on my own. That's how people can hold it. You're in support, I on my own.
That is... That part, just hearing those terms alone is already annoying.
It's very uncomfortable.
You shouldn't be telling your spouse that they are on their own. Okay, you say they throw it clear out. They ain't listen for no reasoning, and the one just decides, you know what? I'm not waiting for you. I see where this can go. I'm not waiting on you. I'm moving along. They go on the bill. Okay, fine. They come back. They apologize. Whatever.
Well, you listen. You
mean you're going to come with that kind of attitude?
Remember, listen, you didn't say they apologized before now. They come back, they apologize.
But whether or not they apologize, my dear husband, at the end of the day. No. At the end of the day, this is how I see it. Whether or not the right thing to do, the correct thing to do would be to apologize, babes. Listen, when you got, I couldn't see where I was going. There are times when I had to say this to you. Yes, Uncle.
Peter's going to talk there.
I couldn't see where you were going. You understand me? I couldn't see where you were going. I did not agree with you, but boy, you made the right decision. Maybe I didn't apologize for disagreeing or whatever, but I said, boy, looking at it now, you made the wrong decision. You, as a good spouse, would turn to your partner and say, you know what? Yeah, girl. Yeah, boy. I didn't like the fact that you didn't support me in this thing, but here we are, girl. Let me go enjoy whatever. Don't come with that kind of attitude to build no content. No content.
I'm going to speak a little bit about that.
It's not right.
Let's take Peter.
Yes, Peter, come. Two against one here today. Go ahead.
No. You see, I have this preconceived notion. I have a question.
Go ahead. Ask the question.
I have a question. I want to back up just a little bit.
Go ahead.
How did we even get there? Should the spouse who had the idea be allowed to proceed with the idea if the two did not agree in the first place?
Right.
Because you have shared finances.
Right.
It's a shared household, shared everything, two becoming one, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You understand? How did that spouse get to take the $30,000, $40,000 at the dollar and proceed to build a business
without
if the other one's
not in agreement?
They're in agreement. That was the question. That was my question, first of all, before we even get going.
I like that question.
Now, we're going to answer that, right?
Go ahead.
You see, vision is powerful. It pulls a person. Opportunity. When an opportunity is seen and you are convinced that you will succeed with it, listen, even your blood going with it, vision is powerful. Once a person sits down, they see it. They are going to find a way. And even if they have to do it without the money that is there, they will do it.
They'll get it done.
You understand? Because in their mind, I can make it happen.
Yeah.
You understand? If it succeeds, it's to their advantage. If it fails,
oh gosh, watch back now. And I tell you so.
Yes.
You see what
it's going to go the other way now. Now, here what now? If it fails, the other party now, who did not agree, boy, listen, you have gone to the slaughterhouse. You're getting it, you know. You're getting it.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So either way it go.
Yes. Somebody getting it.
Somebody gets it. And this is what we have to recognize now. When it comes to certain things, it becomes an emotional matter.
Right.
And that is why things just go the way it go. Because now you are dealing with emotion, you're dealing with the depth of how a person feel. And to me, you have rejected me.
Yeah.
So you reject me, I bill it, even if you benefit from it, you seldom you're going to find a person come and say, I know you support me, but drink something, man. At least drink something. Seldom. Most of the time they will just continue living. And if something should happen along the way, then you're going to find the emotion come out. In bumps is where the emotion often comes out. It don't come out naturally just like that.
Right.
And it's very few spouses, my dear, we're going to come back and say, boy, sweetheart, I didn't see what you're saying.
Very few, really.
No, man, come on, listen. It's very few that do it.
No,
you know, some people, the pride, it blind their eyes, you know. Not a lot that's come out and say, I see why I didn't support you at the end, you know.
So but, you are telling me that yes, we have them, but to say very few, you would see your spouse doing something that you disagreed on, and your pride is so big as your forehead, as somebody would say, that you couldn't come back and say, bye, girl, I couldn't see where I was going with this one here, but I am so proud of you.
Listen.
You did well for yourself.
By the way,
you did.
We are living on the same planet, right?
Yes, we are. But I am saying that I don't believe that the majority of us are so prideful and so negative that you can't come back to compliment your spouse on something.
Listen, love. I applaud your belief, you know.
I beg to believe otherwise, please.
What is on the ground? Most people, they just enjoy it. And you know what is sad? You know what is sad? Sometimes they say to their friends, you know,
right.
But they ain't coming back and say to their husband.
Or
the wife. Could it be?
Anyway, I get you. But could it be that they didn't come back to say it because the one that succeeded, they could have been like, I tell you so.
No, let me tell you what happened. Well, yes.
Because if you can.
Yes,
I know you couldn't make it. You ain't help me. You hide your money. You ain't live for black and I tell you so. Take that now.
Yes,
it's not right. Anyway, it goes.
Anyway, it goes. It's not right.
No,
right? I agree. But listen. You know what happened to many persons out there? The one that succeed, they just keep living.
So
They have it in their mind. They just keep living. And they go sit down. Wait, they just keep living. Watch the man. When they eat the food, so they say, oh no, the food is joke.
No, that's evil.
No,
listen. No.
It's truth. I agree. What? I'm just telling you.
Oh gosh.
This is, you see, watch that. This is why I tell people, before you cancel out something, have a conversation. See where you can hit compromise ground.
Right.
And, give allowance here and there, because when you're talking about investment, there is always risk involved. And you have to calculate the risk of that investment. Failure is possible as much as success is also possible. Especially with something you're going into for the first time. You have to calculate the risk. And so if you sit with your spouse, they might be able to share things that you might not be thinking about. Simply because they don't agree. They might bring up questions that might put you on a more successful path.
And you may feel, the spouse may feel as though you're finding all kind of thing to discourage. But why you have to ask me that? Why you have to come up with that? Why you can't just see what I'm saying and go along with that?
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes that way.
Sometimes it goes that way.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to warn people mind now that if you sit down and you take the discussion differently, it can actually make you more successful.
So then, in this case, what we are saying now, it would be important that each person listen to the other person's point, because even though we may have separate mindsets on what we want to do with this currently, hear each other out, because you may be saying something that could very well benefit me. I might be saying something that could very well benefit. So sit down amicably, I agree, and discuss this thing. But you see, again, it goes back now to a point that you always make. How healthy is the relationship?
Yeah, well,
all right? Too. Because if I am bringing the vision to tell you, my dear husband, this phone, when we bought this phone was for like $15,000. I want to sell this phone for at 12,000 because I just have it 2 years. You know? And you're going to be like, but my dear wife, you and that blue, what this thing called again?
Case.
You and that blue case with that whatever. You understand? I'm not listening to you to hear, you know what? Let me change it up a look. Change the way it look up. Present it nice and make it look pretty, clean it up, whatever. Whatever good you are saying to me, I am only hearing you in a, what do you call it? Critical.
Yeah. From
a critical mindset. Because you have always been in the one, you know, or you have always made me feel, I've always made you feel as though I cannot bring a proper suggestion, I cannot give a proper opinion. You always think what you say goes. So this is no different. I don't think you are with me on this. So you might very well be saying, they might very well be giving good wise counsel, but because I always hear you from a critical mindset, because that's all it does is criticize me and condemn me, I can't hear nothing you saying.
And that's a powerful point you're making there. Now, if the relationship is unhealthy,
right,
especially when it comes to this kind of conversation,
yeah,
you're going to be perceived almost from first instance as non-supportive.
Right.
The moment you say, did you think about, even if at this point you're really trying to listen differently,
right,
did you think about the first thing the person, you see, I ain't with you today. Yeah. I just come to tell you what I'm going to do because this is how it goes.
I don't know you're going to support me already.
Exactly.
Right.
So the health of the relationship also can cause serious concern.
Yeah.
You're perceiving that light. You have thought about, remember I have a history. I've thought about every time I come this, you always, so that's going to come out.
Good. And Uncle Peter, I think this is where now you're the point that you're making there. We can come right back in with that. Because sometimes, because of that very mindset, that is sometimes how they end up right there. Me don't know she's not going to support me already.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know already I ain't getting the support. So they just, especially if they have separate accounts. You understand me? And especially if they have no joint account. No, they don't do anything together financially. I working for my own money. You working for your own money. You do what you want. I will do what I want. Sometimes that's how they end up there. You know, one is just they can't be bothered, and the other is like, you know what? This is my money. I do what I want.
You know what is sad? And if we try to get this proper, I'm telling you, we're going to have a lot more healthy conversation.
Right.
If we have the ability to hear emotions. You see that? It's a blessing. Because, for example, we talk about money, and you heard the thoughts I bring up, security and risk.
Right.
The first thing the person thinking about security. The other person thinking about opportunity, not risk, opportunity.
Right.
They're thinking, boy, our status can change. This opportunity presents itself always big. This is our way out of poverty. This is our increased line.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So emotions are involved while the other person is thinking this is my security. If we start to hear from an emotional level, a lot of things going to fix. Because now you're going to your response is not always necessarily to what is said.
Right.
But it's what is not said often that you're saying, you know what? My wife is talking about her financial security. She's thinking if we spend all this, the family going to crumble.
Right.
So now when I responded, I'm going to give a different response. I say, you know what? To consider the family, let's leave a $2,000 in the bank.
Right.
Because our family still needs to be secured. Right? So let's leave a $2,000 in the bank. And we can use $3,000. And you give a 3-4 year plan. And you show the person that the likelihood of them saying, you know what, you have considered me.
Yes.
You have considered the family. Let us
not a selfish
let us take the risk.
Yeah.
Because why? You show it. But most of the time people come, they just expect that their spouse will just trust them regardless of. And that's why we get in trouble. You're married to me, you're supposed to know I can do this. Just trust me, just like that. Right. Trust, yes, but give me some information. Yeah. You can't consider your spouse unreasonable if they should ask for further information or details. Right. And then now, if they require that, going forward, let us continue to have the conversation and so forth. You have to start to see your spouse as an asset, have the conversation and so forth, so that they can be with you along the way and say, babes, this. Because if anybody should have your back or should think about you, it's your spouse,
Yeah.
So if we listen to the emotions, I think you can save a lot of the damages that sometimes often happen in many situations like this.
And I'm going to ask you this question now. Let's say now, the one who wants to build, the one who wants to move forward is the husband. And the wife is not in agreement totally. All right? Okay, let me rephrase that. The wife is not in agreement because, like you just explained, for the security of the family, I don't think this is the wise decision at the moment. And she said that to your husband, look, baby, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with us doing this at the moment. Is that an unsubmissive spouse?
No, not necessarily. You said, I am uncomfortable. There are things for your discomfort.
Because
every risk involves discomfort.
Right.
And some persons, they are more emotionally, I don't want to use the word intelligent, but for lack of a term, their emotions are better in taking risk in certain areas.
Okay.
So if you express that you are uncomfortable, we are always afraid to venture in uncharted territory. If you're uncomfortable, then it's my duty to share some kind of comfort. Bring some kind of thing that will give you comfort further.
I ask if it means that wife is unsubmissive, because sometimes I speak with people and there are things that they are doing, there are things that they want to do, there are things that they have launched out in and that they didn't get the spouse support from, and then for that spouse is like, you're not submissive.
You're not submissive, yeah.
Some of them, you can't go to church, you can't go here, you can't go there. If you decide to get up and go to church, you're not submissive. And this is where I'm glad we are at this point now, where it comes to now, when do we say no?
Yeah.
You understand me? You met me saved. In fact, both of us are saved, right? And even in the case of where, let's say, most times it is the husband that's not saved. Most times. Okay. The point is that you met me saved. You know I was saved. You come in now, and the demands are there. I can only go to church once a month. You can't go to prayer meeting. If they're having this, if they're having that, you can't go. And if you decide to go, they consider you not submissive.
No. You can't take the place of the Lord. Okay? You can't take the place of the Lord. And we have come across many cases like this, right? Where sometimes the spouse is trying to take the place of the Lord. Also, it's important that we balance life. Balance life.
Yeah, but before we go to the balance.
No. I want to put everything on the table now, so that when we converse in it, we approach it in the balance. You balance life, right? There are some persons, they try to basically kill the person's faith.
Right.
That's not proper. You can't do that. Sorry. You can't take the place of the Lord where you become everything, and then you're still using the Lord now to say the spouse is unsubmissive. No, it can't work. You've met the person, you meet them saved, you meet them serving, you meet them, their faith is meaningful to them.
Yeah.
You cannot come now and tell them to throw away that which is meaningful to them. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to get a backlash like you're trying to replace the Lord. The Bible also says, in the Lord, the wives submit to your husband. Colossians says, as it is fit in the Lord. You see, that phrase is very important. If we quote submission outside, so for example, if a person come now and they're asking you to thief, and you decide I'm not stealing, then you're going to say you're not submissive.
Right, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You see, we use this thing really truly.
Selfishly.
What is it indicating is control.
Yes.
You are trying to dominate the person. You're trying to control the person. And the way to do that is to appeal to their faith.
Right.
To try to get them to do everything because they say that is not submission. No, that's inappropriate. So we have to be careful. On the other side, balancing is important, where sometimes some persons are too overly indulged in all the activity of the church. Monday to Sunday, they are there. Right. So we have to control that as well. All right.
Yeah.
Now, if I can see periodically certain occasion happen, and can we have it at our assembly, where their wives with unsaved husbands, and periodically they would say, Pastor, you wouldn't see me in church today, and we say, go enjoy yourself with your wife. But if that is something that constantly, then you are tampering with the practice and development of that person's faith. You see, their wives sometimes will say, Pastor, you wouldn't see me in church today. My husband's birthday is a Sunday. And they're going to do something.
And there are some husbands, even though they're unsaved, they're reasonable like that.
Yes.
You understand me? Yeah.
And I would say, sister, go enjoy your husband. Make it big. Enjoy yourself. All right? And there are some husbands who are unsaved because they realize the faith of their wife is very important. What they do, they come to church this Sunday morning with their wife. And then they go out and they enjoy themselves for lunch and they enjoy the evening. So there are things like that, you know, that is healthy. But when you start to come where you are almost throwing the person's faith out the door, that is unhealthy.
And I would say to also, thank you there, and I would say to all, like, to add to what you just said there, because sometimes some of the wives, they're really unreasonable. And then there are those who would just want to be out of the house constantly, and sometimes they use their ministry work or their duties at church to be out of the house. You understand? And sometimes it's not, they just want, sometimes they ain't even willingly, Uncle Peter, going to church to serve in what they really say they're going to do. Sometimes it's just a way of avoiding the spouse.
Your spouse.
Yes.
Then the issue is deeper. So we have to watch that. We have to manage that. Because you are running away from a relationship. God, let me put it this way. Jimmy Evans, I like the way he put it. He says that God expects us to be 100% successful in our marriage, 100% successful in our work, and 100% successful in our faith. The percentage have not changed.
Right.
And I love that expression. So you can't neglect one and try to achieve the other. Right. God wants us to build the same God that gave us family, give us faith. The same God that gave us family, gave us faith. So we have to build each of them in a balanced manner.
Right.
So if you are running towards your faith to build your faith, but it's a way to escape your marriage, it means your marriage is sick and it needs attention.
Of course.
And if you do that long enough, after a while, that marriage is going to damage. It's going to break eventually. Because we have to balance this thing off.
Right.
God does not want us to break our family just for our faith, so to speak. But it happens. People do those kind of stuff. So we have to be careful, because remember that God put family as a requirement for leadership in the church.
Right, true.
The same family you break in. Say you run after, God put family as a requirement for leadership in the church. So if you break your family now, how should we appoint you to the church?
That's true. And this is where now sometimes too we're not land-based in the church, but because of where we are at, this is where sometimes too it would be good that, so, you know, our leaders, church leaders, pastors, whoever is in charge, or how you apostle, or whatever name you go by, you understand me? This is where sometimes wisdom is necessary, because you would see a sister or a brother, you know, the worship leading today, Tuesday night they lead in Bible study, Friday night they have to come back for worship practice, Wednesday night they this over and over and over, and especially when, you see, when both partners are saved, when both of them are saved, it is much easier, not always easy, not always easy, but it is much easier for two of them to leave to go to church or to serve the Lord in whichever capacity they do. But when one is unsaved, so much wisdom is necessary.
You have to ask a question.
And and this is where now that a pastor with proper eyes, when I say proper eyes, who can see things properly, you know, he should be able to say to Sister Jane or Brother John, listen, I appreciate everything that you're doing for the Lord, but I think you're in church a little too much. I think you're doing a little too much. You understand? I see you coming constantly, but your wife stopped coming. Your husband is no longer coming. You open your eyes and see what is happening to you. Look, you used the examples a couple of weeks ago with the sister from our church back home, years back, when she was constantly in church and her husband was, you know, he talked about it to her, you know, and then having spoke to her, she was willing enough. Again, this is the other thing too.
She was willing enough to
listen and take counsel. And she went back to apply whatever advice you gave her, to the point where the husband was now. If she decided to stay home on Sunday, her husband was asking her, "What happened? You're going to church today?"
The husband was sending.
He was willing now to send her to church, because he realized she came to the place where she took his feelings into consideration. You understand me? And sometimes I'm saying to us wives especially, I want to talk to some of you stiff-headed ones a bit. You mightn't come back today, it's alright, you'll come back next week and listen. But but I am saying this because I am, I'm not going to think with us, because I know sometimes how we can be. Sometimes we could like to have our own way. Sometimes we could want to have our own way a little too much. You know, so if you hear your husband is constantly saying this to you, over and over in different terms, in different conditions, he keeps making reference to a particular something. But for no reason. Lord, if I just do this, Father, can forgive me. Do I do it by the husband? Don't answer. No. Now that I'm hearing myself, you know.
I want to see Lord is speaking.
No, but sometimes we just have to learn to, just draw back and hear what our husbands are. We would not always agree. I'm not saying I don't always agree. We have our own opinions and our thoughts and the way we like to see get done. Things we like to see get done. But if you ask me, I would rather 100% listen, even when I don't agree, Uncle Peter. I would rather 100% listen to what my husband has to say than take my own advice.
I think the Lord is speaking.
I would prefer listen to him. Not just because I want to be, I am submissive, I am, but not just because I want to be submissive, not just because I am a Christian woman and God expect me to submit to my husband or anything of this sort. But it is, my husband just sit down and he thinks. He goes through things. Do you see them fine prints down there? He would go through. I remember one time we went somewhere, some official something we were doing, and all the fine prints were there. And my husband asked for the paper to go home and go through all the fine prints. And I was like, Nolan, you serious?
You really said it, yeah?
Maybe one of them in every relationship.
I said, my husband, all of that fine. And then years there I wasn't wearing glasses yet. All of them fine. I said, Nolan, you serious? He said, yes, my dear wife. Suppose I sign and I sign my life away.
Exactly.
So he was willing to take that form home and sit down and go through the fine details. Me, I'm a little rushy at times with some things. I like me, if we're going to do this, let we do it. You understand me? One time, get it done. Get it out of the way, because I don't want to come back to deal with it tomorrow. Sometimes I can see things from that angle. But he would be sometimes a little bit more cautious, lest he sign his life away. So I'm saying to our wives, sometimes our husbands are better. I'm not saying all the time. They are better at making decisions. And again, with us as women, sometimes we do things from our emotions. When we are in a particular frame of mindset, whenever we feel a particular way, we're ready to rush and get things done. And sometimes we could just mess things up.
I think the wife's coming for you,
Let them come.
The wife, I hope you put on your shield.
Let them come. Come. If they back me, their husband go back me.
I think the wife's coming for you,
Let them come, it's okay. But the truth is, sometimes we are like that. If they're honest enough with themselves, they'll know. But she's talking truth, eh? Okay. Sometimes we can be like that. Sometimes we can be a little too much.
Yeah, what I would say, my dear wife.
Yes.
I think each party have to know their spouse.
Right.
This is how I would put it. Mm-hmm. Know your spouse. The one that is more detailed, you want to pay attention. Yeah. Don't ignore it. It might take a little longer, but don't ignore it.
Right.
The details matters. Mm-hmm. You understand? Because you do have instances where, I agree that a lot of women can be emotional and they can move and so forth. And, man for the most part, still going to be logical. But you also have some instances where the wives, they are the one that think it through.
Yeah, but wasn't...
I understand what you're saying. And they really bring it there. So, and sometimes it is ignored.
Yes.
So I think the better way to put it, in my view, is to say, well, listen, pay attention to the one that is more detailed.
Yes.
Because the more information you have, the better the decision.
I understand you and I agree with you completely. But I am talking now from the angle, my dear husband, of the women them who are stiff-headed.
Oh my.
Because the truth is, we have women like they're stiff-headed, and it doesn't matter what the conditions are. This is what they want and this is what we're doing. Yeah. And they are the ones I'm talking to.
I am a man.
But then you know what? Then let's talk to the men that stiff-headed too then.
I was trying to bring
That's what he was doing. But I am saying now, and we can do that, that's okay. But I was specific. I will talk about the women that I am a woman. So I'm talking for us women. Sometimes they can have that way, we can have that way about us. You understand? But if you have a husband like my husband, you ain't going to get your way all the time. You understand me? Because you're going to come and he, like I say, go through all the fine details. And rightly so, as you were saying, it is okay to listen to the one who would go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. That's okay. It is a better thing to do, actually. But I was referring to the wives. I was speaking to the wives who, even though the husbands sit down and carefully bring them and say, this is this, they don't have it already. I want that chair.
They don't care.
I want that bed. Even if it means we're going for a month without food, without paying, let me sacrifice GB so we can. You understand what I'm saying? They are just some wives like that.
And it brings complications.
They just spoil and like to have it their way. And yes, it brings complication. So what I was saying is that, sometimes we just have to learn to draw back a bit and just listen. Listen to what your spouse is saying. Whether or not we agree, listen. We may just get a little piece of common sense or two.
Amen.
Right.
And I agree.
Thank you for agreeing.
100%.
The Lord bless you. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Me to follow you.
No, I was leaving you to comment. You take it from the man angle.
No, I was just saying, listen. You need, the thing is, in the relationship, either party could go anyway. You have to be willing to understand your spouse.
Right.
That sometimes one think about the details deeper than the other. And the more information you have, the broader the thought, the better your decision. If you just come, the Bible said, if we are in haste, it leads to poverty.
Yes.
That's not just always in physical wealth, but even in decision. You make poor decisions when you don't take time to think to things. Now, it is true that there are times in life where you might need to make a quick decision. And I can understand that. Those are risky. But most of the things don't always require a quick decision. It really requires you thinking. And if you can just think it through, it's better. It's a lot better. All right? Now, I know you talk to women, but...
Uncle Peter, go ahead.
I don't mind knocking up some men.
Yeah.
Pastor rightfully said it, us men, we tend to be more logical, and then for some reason, we tend to throw the logic out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
At certain times. And we look at how the world, or how we've been educated, how men are supposed to be. For instance, you might be in a relationship and the woman might be the one who is better at finances.
Yeah.
She might be the one who's making more money.
Yeah.
And then here you are as the man, and she is going, but no, honey, this is the way this thing needs to go. This is how we have to do this.
Right.
And you as the man are feeling, but I'm supposed to be the head of this household. And
that's what they like to say, yes. That's what sometimes they like to say,
and now you feel a little bit less manly all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And your emotions take over and all the logic gone out the window, because logic dictates, if the woman better, let her run with it.
Exactly.
You understand? And we get emotional now and we start to, no.
Is it because that they feel less than the man if the woman, if she's the one that is making more money, if she's the one that is more educated as we would say?
I think we've been
What is it? Tell me.
We've been brought up to understand that the man's supposed to be the provider.
Yeah.
Right. Uh-huh.
He's supposed to be upfront, for getting everything in place for the family, yada yada. And, and if you don't have these conversations before you get married, it can lead to a lot of problems because the woman might be the bigger breadwinner, and at the end of the day, for the family to survive, it's her salary we're depending on, it's her job we're depending on, and I have to sit down there as a man and go, boy, okay, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may say this, my dear husband, when we back home, Uncle Peter, after my husband came out of my husband was a teacher for 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
7 years. And his salary was there. Of course, his salary was more than mine. I was working insurance. He was into teaching. His salary was more than mine. All right. And he took care basically of everything that we had to do in the house. But then when God called him into ministry, my husband wasn't getting a salary for 4 months? How long it was?
For a couple months, well.
For a couple months, he wasn't getting a salary. And then I was working at a dental clinic. At this time, I had moved on from the insurance. I was a dental clerk. And
No, you were the dental clerk first. The insurance come after.
no, my love, I was at the insurance first. The dental clerk was the last place before we came to St. Martin.
Oh,
Anyhow,
okay.
yeah. You listen out to get you ginkgo?
I had to get ginkgo. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at the dental clerk, and for that time, my husband wasn't getting a salary. At that time, when he got into ministry, my salary had to come in to do whatever it is that we had to take care of.
Right.
But there was never a time that my husband acted insecure or felt belittled in any way. And there was never a time when I had to make him feel inadequate in any way, because I know this situation is temporary. For all the years we were married, he was the one doing everything. When I'm home, when I get pregnant and the children small, I'm home with them. He was the one that was going out working and doing whatever. And now we are in a position where he has a job, but he's not getting a salary because, unfortunately, they can't afford to pay him. But he was willing to go ahead and do what he has to do because God called him. All right? I knew God called him. I was willing, you know what? This is temporary. I'm going to work with my husband anyway because my husband is a good man. It's not that he sit down there not doing anything. You understand me? So sometimes too, sometimes it's how we see things. Sometimes we're in a haste. Sometimes we are in a haste to get somewhere. We are in a haste to get certain things, and we see things. And then again, everything again, it comes back down to this. I'm going to leave it right here. It comes back down to this. The health of your relationship.
Peter mentioned something. If you haven't had conversation about these things before, you see that statement? It's a powerful statement, isn't it? Before, prior conversation is very important. Because listen, even though you get married, the dynamics of things can change. Life is progressive,
Yeah.
The woman might be in a position where she's not making more money now. But as you go along in the marriage, that can change.
Of course, yeah.
If it change, what impact that's going to have on top of you? We in our marriage, we don't have we money, he money, sorry, and she money.
Right.
The money come in the house, the money is for the house.
Yeah.
Anyhow you go, it's for the house, right? But in many relationships, you have my money, she money. And then now you will hear wives say, well, my husband take care of the rent and GB, and I take care of Taylor. Would Taylor still exist?
I don't know.
They're right there back.
I didn't mean anything. No offense, I didn't mean anything.
That's pretty or not listening. Huh?
I'm big enough my people in workflow.
I didn't mean anything. It's just, sometimes you're speaking and there's something come to your mind.
Yeah, you ain't hearing
That's what happens.
time. I get you.
No offense to you.
No, they're not offended. They know you.
It's a shock thought.
Yeah.
Anyhow. But this one said they're going to take care of Tilliam. This one said they're going to take care of the school fee. So what you part up the money.
Right.
So it is always individualized. Rather than recognizing that you are married and the salaries that come in is for the care of the household.
Right, yeah, exactly.
It makes a big difference. So when something happens, you don't have, let's say any one of them drop. You don't have a problem.
Right.
Whether the wife above or the husband, you don't have a problem. $5,000 is coming to the house at the end of the day. We sit down together and we discuss that $5,000, what we are going to do with it, what expense need to be taken. So it's not like my salary coming and the bigger portion come from my salary and the less. No.
Right.
It's 5,000 coming. This is the earning of our household.
Yeah.
You understand? You know, sometimes we have to learn to see the census things a little bit more in the line. When you come to the census office, they ask about the household income.
Yeah.
Take a lesson from it, the household income. So both of us are there and this is what is coming. Now, from that, you can decide, okay, this is my pocket money for the month. And you work with your pocket money, vice versa.
Yeah.
Because you can't show your individuality. You have to maintain certain things. Okay? But at the end of the day, the $5,000 cover the household.
Yeah.
It's going to eliminate a lot of problems. So have the conversation, and maybe one is I pull up I have a book coming out, I pull up something someday. Have financial conversation before marriage. It is important.
Absolutely.
How are you going to run it? If you choose to manage it individually, you must know what comes with that.
Yeah.
Okay? Because for the most part, people just do it without thinking about it. And then when something comes now, all kind of problems start to happen because you choose to run it.
And they suddenly expect the other spouse to just jump in and just start to do it all.
Yeah.
When both of you are making, you decide to keep yours on by yourself, especially if yours is the bigger portion.
Or you enter the marriage just like that.
Yeah.
And they just go around. My money, I go take care of this, you take care of this. I go take care of this, and then it brings problems
Some
later
people
on.
say they work better like that because he can't control mine, I can't control it.
Yeah, and you know what happened? At the end of the day, when you hear Kalalu come in, they still have expectation in it. Now I can throw in this one, especially the wives.
And I could say I don't agree.
No, it's true. Peter, listen, you see the thing thrown around? You know? Well, he has to take care of the household. My money is mine, and his money is mine.
Ours.
It's ours. You see what going on there? All kind of talk thrown around us as brothers.
That's true.
We have to change. We have to change that dynamics. We have to change that dynamic. So, you have carried us to our real mountaintop there.
Well, we gotta rest too. We gotta rest for today. The defense rest.
We are, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program for today. We are coming back tomorrow, next week, because I don't think we're finished with the question. When do we say no? Because I know sex has to become a part of this, so we have to know when. Yes, you have to become a part of it.
Yeah. It's there. I have it there. But
I know you would
choose not to go that angle today. Yeah.
But we trust that you enjoyed the program today and you were blessed as always. We are so appreciative of you always sharing with us. The program, you're going to have a repeat. TV Caribbean is going to share tonight at 8 and then tomorrow morning at 8 as well. God bless you nicely. Dr. Nanton signing out for today.